You open your eyes before sunrise. Something is breathing beside you. Another body shifts near the fire, and beyond the shelter entrance, an animal calls from the dark. You are not alone, because being alone can get you killed. This is not a camping trip. There is no road behind you, no farm ahead of you, and no shop waiting beyond the next hill. The year is roughly 48,000 BCE, and every object you depend on must be found, carried, repaired, remembered, or shared. What does an ordinary day feel like when ordinary life is this demanding? The first surprise is your bed. It is not bare stone, and it is not simply a pile of random leaves. At Sibudu, a rock shelter in what is now South Africa, archaeologist Lynn Wadley and her colleagues found evidence that people made layered plant bedding long before your imagined morning. Some of those plants appear to have helped repel insects, which means your ancestors were not merely enduring nature, they were studying it. Your sleeping place smells of ash, crushed leaves, skin, and smoke. The fire has burned low, but a few red coals still hold the night inside them. You sleep close to other people, not because privacy has not been invented, but because warmth, warning, and trust matter more than personal space. Would you really choose a separate room when darkness belongs to predators? Even sleep is social. In a modern study of Hadza hunter-gatherers in Tanzania, anthropologist David Sampson and his colleagues found that different sleep patterns left someone awake or moving during nearly every part of the night. The Hadza are not frozen copies of people from 50,000 years ago, but the study offers a useful clue. A group can protect itself without assigning one exhausted guard to stare into darkness until dawn. Your differences become a security system. You rise when light begins to reveal faces. There is no clock, yet the camp is not chaotic. People know which embers need feeding, which containers need checking, which tools are missing, and which child woke coughing during the night. Your schedule lives inside memory, weather, hunger, and other people. Breakfast is not guaranteed. Some mornings offer leftovers, roasted roots, nuts, fruit, shellfish, or strips of meat depending on where you live and what season has arrived. At Madjedbebe in northern Australia, a team led by archaeologist Chris Clarkson found evidence that people were living there by at least 65,000 years ago, and later plant studies from the site revealed a broad menu that included seeds, fruits, nuts, and underground plant foods. The old cartoon of a man eating nothing but giant slabs of meat is exactly that, a cartoon. Plants are not the side dish. They may be the dependable center of the day. Finding them requires a mental map of soil, rainfall, ripening times, animal tracks, poisonous lookalikes, and places where water remains after the surface looks dry. How many facts would your breakfast require you to remember? You leave camp with several others. Nobody says that the entire day must become one dramatic hunt. Some people search for edible plants, fuel, fibers, pigments, honey, eggs, shellfish, or small animals, while others watch children, repair equipment, care for injuries, or scout changing conditions. The exact pattern varies by place, season, age, skill, and opportunity. Your feet do most of the work. There are no paved surfaces and no perfectly fitted modern shoes. You cross rough ground while watching the landscape for information. A broken branch, fresh dung, circling birds, disturbed sand, a cloud building in the wrong direction. To you, the countryside is not scenery. It is a message. A track is never just a track. Its edges suggest whether it is fresh, its depth hints at weight, its direction connects to wind, water, and the likely behavior of the animal that made it. Could you read a morning from a single footprint? Your tools look simple from a distance. Up close, they are stored knowledge. A stone point may represent careful selection of rock, practice shaping, transport from a distant source, and attachment to wood with fiber or adhesive. At Sibudu, Wadley's research showed that Middle Stone Age toolmakers produced compound adhesives, meaning glues made from carefully prepared mixtures rather than one sticky substance scraped from a tree. That matters. A bad mixture fails. A poorly fitted point wastes labor. A cracked shaft can turn an opportunity into a long, hungry walk home. Your technology is not primitive. It is compact, repairable, and built for a world without supply chains. You also carry something invisible: reputation. Everyone knows who shares, who notices danger, who remembers water, who stays calm, and who repeatedly takes more than they give. What happens when survival depends on people who remember your behavior? Food changes the mood of the group. A lucky find creates excitement, but it also creates decisions. Eat now or carry it back. Keep moving or return before heat, darkness, scavengers, or another band changes the calculation. A day is filled with choices that leave no written record. Suppose fresh tracks lead toward a small herd. The group slows, voices drop, hands signal, and the wind suddenly matters more than conversation. There is no heroic charge and no guarantee of success. Most of hunting is attention, patience, positioning, and the ability to stop when the risk becomes foolish. The animals are not targets waiting in a game. They hear, they smell, they know the terrain, and many are faster or stronger than you. Would hunger make you brave or merely more careful? Perhaps the hunt fails. That is normal. The day does not become meaningless because knowledge has still been collected: where animals moved, which water source is shrinking, which plants are ready, and where predators have passed. Failure can feed tomorrow if it improves the group's map. On the return journey, someone spots edible tubers. Another person notices resin. A child asks about a mark on a tree and receives an answer that may stay useful for decades. Learning does not happen in a classroom. It happens while walking beside someone who knows what you have not yet learned. Children are everywhere. They are not sealed away from adult life, yet they are not tiny adults either. They watch, imitate, carry light objects, play at serious tasks, make mistakes, and receive help from more than two parents. Your childhood is a long apprenticeship in attention. This long childhood is one of humanity's strange strengths. A young human requires years of support, but those years allow the brain to absorb language, relationships, techniques, stories, landscapes, and rules. The cost is enormous. The payoff is a creature that can inherit solutions it never personally discovered. By afternoon, the camp becomes a workshop. Stone clicks against stone. Wood is scraped. Fibers are twisted. Hides are cleaned. Food is divided, and old tools are inspected before they fail. Nothing is disposable when replacement demands hours of searching and skill. Color may appear too. At Blombos Cave in South Africa, archaeologist Christopher Henshelwood and his team uncovered engraved pieces of ochre and evidence of pigment processing tens of thousands of years before this imagined day. Ochre is iron-rich earth that can produce red or yellow color when ground. It may have served practical, social, or symbolic purposes, and its full meaning is still debated. That uncertainty is important. Archaeology preserves stone better than songs. It preserves burned bone better than jokes. It preserves pigment better than the glance between two people who understand exactly what a mark means. How much of your world would disappear without a trace? By late afternoon, heat fades. People return in different combinations. Some carry food, some carry fuel, stone, information, or nothing visible at all. Sharing is not simple kindness. It is survival spread across time. A person who succeeds today may fail tomorrow, and food that spoils quickly becomes more valuable when converted into relationships, obligations, and trust. Your stomach is individual, but your food system is collective. This does not make camp peaceful every moment. People argue. They feel jealousy, fear, affection, grief, pride, irritation, and boredom. Ancient life is not a perfect community untouched by conflict. It is human life without modern walls hiding the dependence. Then comes the counterintuitive part. Your day is physically demanding, but it may not be a non-stop battle for every calorie. Hunter-gatherer life can include long conversations, play, teaching, tool repair, storytelling, and rest, because cooperation and knowledge make work more efficient. The hardest resource to replace is not muscle, it is a functioning group. Agriculture will eventually produce larger food stores and much denser populations. It will also tie many communities to fields, harvest schedules, repetitive labor, crop failures, and diseases that spread more easily among crowded people and domesticated animals. The future will call farming progress, yet the transition will not feel like an upgrade to everybody living through it. Could greater production still create a harder daily life? Night arrives quickly. The fire becomes the center again. Food is cooked, divided, chewed, and discussed, while darkness erases the landscape beyond the flames. Stories do more than entertain you. They can store roots, dangers, family histories, animal behavior, social rules, and explanations for things nobody can fully control. A memorable story travels farther than a silent fact. Your culture is a survival tool carried in living brains. Above the camp, the sky contains no artificial glow. Stars are bright enough to guide movement and mark seasonal change. Beyond the firelight, predators still exist, injuries can still turn serious, and tomorrow's food is not secured by a receipt. Yet, you are not trembling every second. You are surrounded by the main technology that made your species powerful: other people. One person remembers plants, another reads tracks, another shapes stone, another calms children, and another notices when the weather changes. No single person contains the whole system. Modern life often tells you that independence is strength. Your ancient day suggests something stranger. Human strength has always been distributed across relationships, shared memory, and the willingness to contribute before knowing exactly when the return will come. Why does isolation feel so wrong to a brain built this way? The coals dim, bodies settle close together. Someone is still awake. Not because a manager assigned a shift, but because human sleep, age, worry, and habit never align perfectly. You close your eyes before sunrise. Something is breathing beside you, and now you understand that this is not the danger. This is the reason you survive.